hello to all my friends out there. And so I started a show, and it's what's going on at my house. So today I want to make a new bread recipe. I'm excited. Now this one is a little bit more expensive than the one I usually make, but you don't have to rise it. So that's going to save a lot of time. Okay, so I usually buy powdered milk. I think I like this one the best, and this is 12.6 ounces, and let's see, how many, I'm trying to figure out, it's in Spanish. I can't tell you how much milk this makes because it's in Spanish, but it makes a lot. Okay, in this recipe, the first thing it calls for is 1 3/4 cup buttermilk. Okay, this is a really good recipe because everything is in the stockpile, like the powdered milk. It calls for buttermilk, so in that case, anytime you need buttermilk, you can add 1 tablespoon vinegar. I buy the big ones at the, or lemon juice. I buy the big ones at the 99 cents. Okay, so voila, there you have some vinegar in your milk. It's really sour milk, but you can make it, probably buttermilk would be better, but this is for the stockpile. So what I don't want to do is buy a bunch of extra stuff to make anything. I want to use what I have. 1 beaten egg and 1/4 cup melted margarine. I switched to butter. 1/4 cup honey. Okay, 1/4 cup honey is a lot, but you could use raw brown sugar, white sugar. That's what's good about these stockpile. I use my honey syrup. I buy it at Dollar Tree. I stockpiled quite a bit. So I think I mentioned to you guys, one of the secrets, I think it's a secret. Oh, I didn't add the beaten egg. That is important. It calls for an egg, you need an egg. So, okay, I have 1 1/4 cups buttermilk, 1 beaten egg, 1/4 cup honey, 1/4 cup melted butter. Okay, now this is the way I mix it up. It calls for one teaspoon baking soda, baking powder, and salt. I added a 1/2 teaspoon of salt because I don't like my food really salty, because you get enough salt anyway. So I bought the baking powder and the baking soda, a new one recently. Okay, 1/2 cup chopped walnuts, 1/2 cup raisins, and I recently bought a lot of nuts because nuts are good in the stockpile because, God forbid, I saw this video and it was, I have a large family and I ran out of food. And I thought, wow, what a nightmare. I mean, it's bad enough if you're like a single person, but can you imagine a house full of kids? I'm sure it happens every single day in America, but I feel good because in time, I feel my followers are not going to find themselves there. Okay, I bought new screens. And I was really cheap, and I bought these screens for $1. I think I bought them at Dollar Tree, one of the 99 cent stores. Here's the walnuts. I decided to stockpile the walnuts from Walmart. You know, you don't want like old nuts. Okay, it calls for 2 cups of wheat flour, but I think, you know, unless you're accustomed to wheat flour, I would suggest half wheat, half white. That's what I'm doing here. Here's the wheat. I find this wheat flour would be good. I bought it at Walmart. It wasn't too expensive. I don't know if I'm going to stay with this one or not. So, okay, there is 1 cup wheat flour sifted. And this is going to make a nice hefty loaf of bread. And it's nice, no rising the bread. And this is going to be good in my sandwiches. Still takes about an hour to bake it. Walmart, I find this stuff to be good in my recipes. It's not to the point, you know, you don't want to create recipes that you don't want to eat. And then I bought this at 99 cents only. The last time I think, let's see, you get how many? 2 pounds for $1. That's pretty cheap. And I find this flour to be pretty good. I usually sift the flour. Okay, so 1 cup wheat, 1 cup white. But I don't think technically when you're making bread, also with this bread, another good thing, no kneading. I made this bread before, and the one thing you don't want to do is underbake it. Make sure you get it good and done. I just let it get really, really nice and brown, and then I stick a knife into it. Okay, so my little screen worked well. $1, so you figure my screen was $1 because I got 4 of them. So I want to stir this together good. And then I greased a bread pan, and in my stockpile, I like to stockpile a shortening. One of the things I want to do is show you guys what I use and what I stockpile and what I do every day. Welcome to all the new followers. Welcome to all the old followers. Okay, now here is the recipe. I want to give you the recipes in every video. Now, I want to give you my other recipe that's cheaper. Like if you're on a very tight budget, you might not want to go with that one. You might want to go with this one. This is really good too. I use half wheat, half flour. You can use all white flour. It's good with white flour. Okay, so I have half a package of turkey. So I'm making this macaroni goulash tonight. And this reminds me of my mother-in-law, you know, my ex-husband's mother. She would make this. This is cheaper than spaghetti, and it's everything you have in your stockpile. And I just happen to have a half a package of macaroni in my box of food. I bought a bag of onions, a bell pepper. I stockpile tomato sauce. Water is cheap. Okay, so that's what I'm having for dinner at some point. And for lunch, I'm having a meat and cheese sandwich on my homemade bread. Okay, you guys, that's what's going on at my house.